cover the remaining topics of chapter 1. So let's start. Intelligence in Indian tradition. Contrary to technological intelligence, intelligence in the Indian tradition can be termed as integral intelligence, which gives emphasis on connectivity with the social and world environment. Indian thinkers view intelligence from a holistic perspective where equal attention is paid to cognitive and non-cognitive processes as well as their integration. In Western culture, there is too much technical advancement in comparison of Indian culture. So in Western society, they consider a person intelligent who is well trained in to use technology. But in Indian tradition, we never judge a person's intelligence on the basis of his marks or his post or his fluency in using any language. We always judge a person's intelligence on the basis of cognitive and non-cognitive processes. Cognitive mean knowledge, discrimination, understanding, and non-cognitive processes mean motivation, integrity, self-discipline, focus, and confidence. The following competencies are identified as facets of intelligence in the Indian tradition. Cognitive capacity, sensitivity to context, understanding, discrimination, problem solving, and effective communication. Cognitive capacity deals with thought, problem solving, communication skills, etc. The next is social competence, respect for social order, commitment to elders, the young and the needy, concern about others, recognizing others' perspectives. Social competence refers to the skill that helps us to interact in positive ways with others and manage our own emotions. If you see a blind man on the road, would you prefer to leave him without help? That is social competence. Emotional competence, self-regulation and self-monitoring of emotions, honesty, politeness, good conduct and self-evaluation. Means describe the ability a person has to express his or her own emotions with complete freedom. The first element of being emotionally competent is to understand your own triggers and emotional reactions to things in your life. The last is entrepreneurial competence. Commitment, persistence, patience, hard work, vigilance, and goal-directed behavior. It has business-related aspect. A man who has the ability of honesty, commitment, politeness, self-controlling power has the quality of good businessman. Now come to the next topic, emotional intelligence. It's a very important topic. Emotional intelligence is a set of skills that underlie accurate appraisal, expression and regulation of emotions. It is the feeling side of intelligence. This concept was first introduced by Salvary and Mayer, who considered it as the ability to monitor one's own and others' emotions. The notion of emotional intelligence broadens the concept of intelligence beyond the intellectual sphere domain and considers that intelligence includes emotions. A good IQ and scholastic record is not enough to be successful in life. Students, you may find many people who are academically talented but are unsuccessful in their own life. They face problems in family, workplace, and interpersonal relationship. Now the question arises, what do they lack? The answer is that they have lack of emotional intelligence. Emotional quotient is used to express emotional intelligence in the same way as IQ is used to express intelligence. Now come to the components of emotional intelligence. Self-awareness. When we are self-aware, we know our strengths and weaknesses as well as how we react to situations and people. The second is self-regulation. They are self-aware, emotionally intelligent people can regulate their emotions. The next is motivation. People with high emotional intelligence tend to be highly motivated as well, which makes them more optimistic. Now, empathy. People with empathy and compassion are simply better at connecting with other people. The last is social skills. The social skills of emotionally intelligent people show they care for and respect others and they get along well with them. Come to the special abilities of intelligence. The first is aptitude. Aptitude refers to special abilities in a particular field of activity. It is a combination of characteristics that indicates an individual's capacity to acquire some specific knowledge or skill after training. Aptitude is an innate, inborn ability or capacity to learn to do a certain kind of work. In simple language, we can say that aptitude is a natural ability or capacity in a particular field. Aptitudes are natural talents, special abilities for doing or learning to do certain kinds of things easily and quickly. Students, you can observe in your own class that there are certain areas in which some intelligent students are not good. When you have a problem in maths, you may turn to Nisha for help, and with similar difficulty in literature, you may consult to Shivi and Kalyani. You may request Nalin to sing for your annual function, and you may turn to Aditya when facing a problem in any gadget. These specific skills and abilities are called aptitude. Now the types of aptitude tests. An aptitude test is designed to assess what a person is capable of doing or to predict what a person is able to learn or to given the right education and instruction. For example, a student might take an aptitude test suggesting that they are good with numbers and data. Such results might imply that a career as an accountant, banker, or stockbroker would be a good choice for that particular student. Type of aptitude test is independent or specialized test. Special aptitude tests are those designed to look at an individual's capacity in a particular area. For example, imagine that a business wants to hire a computer programmer to work for their company. They will likely look at a range of things including work history and interview performance, but they might also want to administer an aptitude test to determine if job candidates possess the necessary skill to perform the job. Second type is multiple generalized test. Multiple aptitude tests are designed to measure two or more different abilities. Now the next special ability is interest. Interest is a performance for a particular activity. Interest is a feeling or emotion that causes attention to focus on an object, event or process. In simple language, we can say that interest is the feeling of a person whose attention, concern or curiosity is particularly engaged by something. For example, Apurva has great interest in art. In the absence of sufficient aptitude, even the strongest interest will be sufficient to move the individual forward only slowly in the acquisition of skill required for particular talent fields. Come to the another topic, creativity. Creativity is the ability to generate, create or discover new ideas, solutions and possibilities. Some are highly creative and others are not so creative. Some may express creativity in writing, still others in dance, music, poetry, science, and so on. Despite differences, one common element among them is the production of something new and unique. So we can say that the creativity is the ability of a person or group to make something new and useful or valuable. Creative thinkers are able to look at things in new, unorthodox ways and come up with solutions no one previously thought of. We generally think of creativity in terms of creative persons like Tagore, Einstein, C.V. Raman, Ramanujan, etc., who have made outstanding contributions in different spheres. But creativity is not just limited to a selected few: the artist, the scientist, the poet, or the inventor. An ordinary individual who is engaged in simple occupations like carpentry, cooking, etc., can also be creative. Now the last topic, creativity and intelligence. Terman in 1920 found that persons with high IQ were not necessarily creative. At the same time, creative ideas could come from persons who did not have a very high IQ, but all creative acts require some minimum ability to acquire knowledge and capacity to comprehend, retain, and retrieve. वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड टर्मन्स थ्योरी लाइक एक बच्चा जो बहुत अच्छे मार्क्स लाता हो वो इंटेलिजेंट हो सकता है, बट हो सकता है कि वो क्रिएटिव ना हो। पर जो न्यू आइडियाज़ इन्वेंट कर रहा है और जो अपना परसेप्शन, अपनी चीज़ों को क्लियरली रिफ्लेक्ट करता हो सकता है कि उसका आईक्यू लेवल कम हो, बट ही इज़ क्रिएटिव. We can understand by an example of two students. Shreya is regarded by her teachers as an excellent student. She does her work on time, scores the highest grades in her class, grasps quickly, but she rarely comes out with the ideas which are her own. Shikha is another student who is just average in her studies and has not achieved high grades constantly. She prefers to learn on her own. She improvises new ways of helping her mother at home and comes up with new ways of doing her work and assignments. The former is considered to be more intelligent and the latter as more creative. Now we will read about the creativity tests. Creativity tests came into existence to assess variation in terms of the potential for creativity in contrast to intelligence. A general feature of the creativity test is that they are open-ended. They permit the person to think of different answers to the questions or problems in terms of his experiences. Creativity tests involve divergent thinking. You have read about divergent thinking in 11th class. Some of the famous psychologists who have developed creativity tests are Guilford, Torrance, Passy, etc. Today we have completed our first chapter of psychology, but still some students are getting problems in triarchic theory of intelligence. So I am explaining again this theory. Triarchic theory of intelligence. This theory was introduced by Robert Sternberg in 1985. According to him, intelligence is the ability to adapt, to shape, and select environment to accomplish one's goals and those of one's society and culture. It means that intelligence is a person's ability to react and adapt to the world around them, as well as creativity are equally important. According to this theory, there are three basic types of intelligence. First is componential or analytic skill. Analytic intelligence is the analysis of information to solve problems. Persons high on this ability, think analytically and critically and succeed in life. This intelligence has three components. First is knowledge acquisition component, the second the meta, the third is performance component. Knowledge acquisition component, which is responsible for learning and acquisition of the ways of doing things. The meta. Meta means here high order thinking, which involves planning concerning what to do and how to do. The third is the performance component, which involves actually doing things. You can understand it by an example. Your class get a circular about dance competition. So firstly, you will collect all the information, norms about this competition. This is knowledge acquisition component. After that, you will go to the meta. Then you will think the strategy for dance competition to get first prize in that competition. After that, the performance component, when you will implement all the planning on the day of competition. Now the contextual or practical intelligence. It involves the ability to deal with environmental demands encountered on a daily basis. It may be called street smartness. It means the ability to deal with the situations effectively. Persons high on this aspect easily adapt to their personal present environment or select a more favorable environment than the existing one, or modify the environment to fit their needs. Therefore, they turn out to successful in life. This intelligence is based on how behavior is generated. For example, you have a problem, then your behavior will change automatically because you have to find the solution of that problem. The person who has contextual or practical intelligence are capable to deal with environmental demands. Now the last is experiential intelligence or creative learning. It is the process of learning through experience. It is associated with using existing knowledge and skills in order to deal with new problem or situation. In this type of intelligence, previous knowledge is used to acquire new skill. For example, James Bond was a person high in creative intelligence and he got success on the basis of this quality.